I'd have 15 minute card at the end of the season as well, no doubt, mate, honestly.
Yeah, 100%.
Good evening and welcome to that Friday Night Live. It is season time, kicks off tomorrow, or it is now kicking off now, as you can hear Jay and Omar talking about the
Alfie Gilchrist.
Alfie Gilchrist. And yeah, we are there. We are back. It is full steam ahead. And we got our Millwall back, thank fuck. We can now start talking about proper things. So Friday Night Live going forward will be your live match preview. We'll be talking everything about the game the next day. So the game on the Saturday or the Sunday, whichever it may be, your Friday Night Live is your spot for that. And again, we're not on Twitter. So it is just literally all of you on YouTube. We will get that sorted over the next day or two. Make sure you give us a like. First match nerves, yeah. Well, without further ado, we will welcome the one and only, the Turkish goddess. I mean, God, the one and only Omar.
Hello, Mickey. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. You?
I'm all right. I've got my fresh skin fade ahead of tomorrow. I'm buzzing, ready to go. Come on. Got Sky Sports Plus on in the background. What a great invention that is. You know, we're all excited for the new season, mate. Get me down the den tomorrow. Traitor. No.
Evening
to the chat too. Get your comments in there, guys.
Yeah, everyone get in there and go, hello. Here, Peter Sullivan. Good evening, Mickey, Omar, Claire and Jay. We are joined by Jay, the Grand Master of Fantasy. If you've not called it yet, him and Ben have gone out and done a fantasy show covering the new EFL Fantasy League. It's your show purely dedicated to that. So congratulations, Jay, on your first show. Gone down well, and yeah, hopefully the numbers will follow.
Jay, you're on mute, mate. You're making on the side, but...
I'm not really doing that again, mate, being live and all that. You know what I mean? Do me to unmute you? No, I can't unmute you.
You've muted yourself on StreamYard, Jay. This is amateur hour, 100%, mate. What's going on?
Deary me. Oh, there we go.
You're still on mute, apparently, mate. What are you doing? What have you done? Right. Stephen.
And we are there with Stephen. Hello, mate. The one and only shorts wearing Stephen. Are shorts out tomorrow?
Shorts are out now, mate. But yeah, shorts will be out. Shorts will be out tomorrow. It's been a while since I've done a live, so ready for the new season. Had to be back for this one.
Yeah, no, that's it. Stuart B. Good evening, Stu. How you doing, fella? The man in LA. So yeah, is that you putting comments up, Omar?
Yes, mate. I'm putting people saying hello. It's not that deep. It's okay. Jay, are you with us, Jay? You made it? No, you're still on mute, Jay. What the fuck have you done, mate?
Am I on mute now?
No, he's all right. He's all right.
No, you're not there. You should have kept it going now.
You can't hear me. No. Response to you, Mickey. Yeah, we have started our new fantasy show. At the end of the show tonight, I'll just give you a brief rundown. If you want to join the league, it's open. Come and have fun. Come and subscribe to our channel. It is sponsored by that Millwall podcast. So, yeah, come over. Have some fun with us, and if you're involved if you like fantasy football, it's all about fantasy football. So yeah, this is your Millwall fix, and we can give you your fantasy fix. So
I've got a feeling I'm going to be very mobile in a minute when I get in my car and drive to Bromley and break your fucking fingers, Omar.
Putting comments up, people saying hello, mate.
I know that's why I want to come over there and break your fingers, because you're fucking driving me mad.
Anyway, hello,
without further ado, you are now going into intro, the brand new intro for 2024-25 season. Off we go. There we go. So get them in the comments and let us know what you think of the new intro. We've got a few more different things happening over this season, so don't worry. And without further ado, we're going to talk about Watford tomorrow. So, yeah, Homer. We'll get there and eventually, mate. So, yeah, it's all the excitement. That's it. We're all going to be meeting up in the flesh tomorrow, so it's going to be all exciting. The only downside is we're going to have to put up with seeing Dan Riggs in person too, because on here we can just ignore his comments, but when he's standing in front of you, he's a big fucking geezer. Reminds me of that fella out of Harry Potter. And the only reason I say Harry Potter is because I'm in my boys' room and there's a few Harry Potter things. But yeah, here's what it is. So let's have your thoughts on, and you in the comments. Let's have your thoughts on tomorrow's game then, Omar. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get down to them, mate, to be honest. Thank you, Michael, for the introduction. But yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to getting down to them tomorrow. It's just, it's kind of, without giving away what I think the score's going to be just yet, because we'll say that for later in the show, I'm sure we'll do our predictions. But I'm just excited to get back to familiar surroundings. Obviously, we had the friendly last week. It's not the same. 2,000 people there, if that probably. I don't know what the official attendance was. But looking forward to just seeing the same faces, having a drink before the game, and just kind of soaking it up. And obviously, we've got the Sarkic tributes as well, which we'll talk about shortly as well. And I think it's just set up to be a really good day tomorrow. It's not going to rain from what I saw this morning when I checked the weather forecast. And do you know what? I'm just really looking forward to seeing the same faces, seeing all you boys tomorrow, and just getting down to them, mate. This is what it's about, and I can't fucking wait.
That's it. Get your £6 ready as well for your bag holding, but we'll talk about that a bit later on. We'll have a bit of a whinge on that a bit later on, and there's a couple of bits for later on as well. But yeah, we'll go there. Go to you next, Stephen, only because I've just seen your mum saying hello. So, hello. Views on tomorrow, fella. What's your thoughts and that, without giving us any scores or anything else? Just how you feeling about football being back for real?
I mean, it's been a weird one because obviously we had the Euros this summer, haven't we? So everyone kind of got caught up in that.
Did we?
That's now been and gone. Omar has the scars to prove it. The first game of the season, I love the first game of the season. Pre-season doesn't get the appetite going for me, to be honest. It's not, it's just it's not the same. Load of subs, legs in the, minutes in the legs. Sorry, but it's you get back to your seat. Same season ticket now. The people around you. I know Mike's in the chat. Obviously, someone who I know quite well and sat next to for a while now. It's just a great feeling to be back watching the real thing. I think we'll get into, what we think will happen tomorrow and scores and stuff. And I'm sure that the show might take a little bit of a downturn, especially if people echo what I think is going to happen. But we'll see. But buzzing to be back.
Jay, what's your thoughts, Jay, on tomorrow?
Yeah, mate. Look, it's sad end to the season. Another sad end to a season where we start a season with a loss at the club, which put a dampener on it. We then made some good signings and things started to pipe up again, and we started to get some happy souls back in. And then it's gone off with the transfers, which we'll allude to. Pre-season was not the greatest pre-season in terms of sticking the ball in there and things like that, but we've got minutes in the legs. We've got some injuries. There is some concerns, but who does not love first game of the season? It's going to be hot, like Omar said, and yeah, just buzzing to get back down there.
It does make me die how I understand. Obviously, we've never really been great for buying players in pre-season and all of this, or getting loads and loads of people in. But I think the players we've got in, the players what we wanted. Tanganga is fucking great. Tanganga, whatever you want to fucking call him. I'm just going to call him Tango. Stop fucking Omar. Do you know what I mean? He's sitting there getting fucking proper lemon.
Tango. Just do Tango. It's fine.
Yeah, that's right. Tango. We got Tango in. I think Langstaff is going to be, a good option for us going forward. And I think it's great that we're going into a new season where we're going to be playing youth. Let's put it this way. Look, I'd rather go into this system, into this season with the players we've got already and having Gallen there, rather than going into this season with maybe not the players we've got and Alex Aldridge leading our recruitment.
I think this time last year, Mickey, we probably had a bit more signings in, more contracted players. I get the negativity around that, but for me, I think it's a different approach this summer. Clearly, obviously, lots happened off the field. We've all spoke about it countless times in the last couple of months. It's been 3 months since a competitive game, which I think is the longest I can remember for a long time. But I think it's more for me like we're taking our time. We're not rushing it. There's been murmurs from Harris, and we'll talk about it also in the news. But obviously, he's getting frustrated. You can see that. But I think it's also waiting for the right players to be available. And I don't mind that approach, provided we actually do sign some players. And it's not to deadline day when we're signing 3 panic buys. But
I don't think any of the players what are coming in are going to be panic buys. I think they've got a strategy, but I just think that, the same as all of these, it's just if you've got a player you want, then and that's the player you want. As in, I think what's happened normally is that we have a list of 5 players. We can't get 1, 2, 3, or 4, and we end up going for 5 all the time. As in this time, we're sitting at the top, but they're just taking that a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think also you've got to remember, though, the players that we want are the same players that probably a lot of other clubs want as well. It's never easy. It's never clear. It's never clear as day you're going to get that player because you want him. There's going to be other options out there. But I think
did say that we're getting 3 players in before the end of August.
Didn't he also say we'll sign some players before Watford, and we've not signed anyone yet?
No, he never said that. He never said that.
I heard we was meant to be signing a couple of players before Watford.
Never said that.
Never said that. Okay.
Never said that. He said we will sign. We will sign. We've got 3 players who will be signing before the end of August. He never said about Watford at all. Never at all.
The biggest problem, though, for me is, and I'm sure you'll all be able to answer this question, how many new signings are going to be starting the game for us tomorrow? And the answer to that question, in my opinion, and we'll come on to selections, I think it's going to be 1. And after knowing the season we had last year, knowing that recruitment this year was going to be a big thing, it was going to be the make or break, really, that Harris had come in and, steadied the ship. But the quote was going to leave us in a better place than when he took over. The fact that we're going into the first game looking like we're only going to have 1 new signing, for me, is a little bit of a concern. Yeah, okay, there's players coming. We hope, and we like to think that, it'll be 3. I hope that it's actually a few more than that. But it's kind of everyone's, I think lots of Millwall fans, whilst everyone's buzzing to be back and looking forward to it, there is that caution of we're going with a very, very similar squad to last year. And we were
done
very,
all right last
very
year,
close.
didn't we?
That's how we finished, though. That's what I was going to say.
No, I get that. I get that. I get that. But we flirted very, very dangerously close with relegation. And I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous about it.
We did flirt with relegation very, very, a little bit, yeah. But 4 games left to go, we were safe.
I think
we finished second only to Ipswich.
I think more to the point is not just the fact that we haven't made any new signings, it's the fact that the squad is a lot less shallow now as well. The players that we lost, we're still 4 players away just from matching up to the squad numbers that we had last year. And I think the other side of the transfer window, how it's gone, is that the big gaping hole and the massive need that we all knew about before the season ended was we need proper wingers and we need strikers. And they're the 2 positions, all right, bar Langstaff, they're the main positions that we haven't really addressed yet. And I think we lack the depth heavily at the moment.
Every fucking show last season, right, one of you lot, if not more than one of you, were moaning, going, SA needs game time. Amaku needs game time. We need to give the under-21 some game, under-23s. We need to bring the youth in. We're obviously going that direction. SA's obviously going to get time. Amaku's going to get time. And yet now it's, we need to bring others in. But if we'd have brought others in, potentially, they ain't going to get game time either, are they?
No,
so but you can't have it both ways.
No, but then you look at that. If SA starts slow, you can't expect him to come out of the traps as a young player. If SA and Marku start slow or get an injury, we're back to Duncan Watmore and Honeyman on the wing with Bradshaw up
exactly
top.
The problem.
And this is the problem. We had to play backs against the wall last season to stay up because they were the players that we had. And I don't think that football, as we spoke about, is sustainable for the course of a season. We all knew that, we understood we had to play that way to keep us up, and we accepted it, and it worked to keep us up. But we can't do that every week. And even when playing that style of football, the risk of injury is higher because playing defensive football is so much harder than playing attacking football.
But if we play defensive football through have we played defensive football really through pre-season?
It's been hard to say what type of football we play. I mean, Omar, you've been to into Mercia and that. What would you say the style of football we played is? Because I can't actually put my finger on it.
We've not Saturday for me last week was a big take. Jensen didn't take a single long goal kick. Like, so it is a shift. There's clearly a start to be a change. And I think it's going to be interesting tomorrow if we go 1-0 down early, if we start playing back round the back and we're trying to build from the back. We don't build from the back the same way all these others Premier League, these Premier League wannabe clubs do. We don't. But I do think it'll be interesting, like, if it does turn, what will happen? Will the players try to play through that, or will they revert to plan B or plan A, should we say, because this is plan B? Do you know what? I think there is an evolution undergoing here. And like I said, I'm not too stressed. I wanted players to be signed in June. I wanted players to be signed in bloody, May. Like, I remember doing shows going, we're going to sign someone this week, surely. And that was the end of May. We're going to sign someone this week, and that was the start of June. We didn't sign anyone to the end of June. And like, that's obviously like scary. It's different. But like I said, I think I kind of have faith that they've got targets and they're waiting for the right players instead of just filling places in the squad for the sake of it. And I don't mind this approach. I think if you ask me now if we've got enough to stay up, I think we would, just by the skin of our teeth. That's just my opinion. If we want to do better, we need more. I think Harris has enough. He will set the team up in a certain style that if he has to revert to, what we did last season, I think I'd back us to stay up. And I think, obviously, we'll probably talk about tomorrow a bit more now, but I think I'm excited because we've got our club legend who will galvanise that squad and they will overachieve from what they're capable of. He will get the crowd going. They will all work in unison. And I think that will add and compensate for our lack of players at the moment. And I think it will kick us on. I really do.
I do agree with that sentiment, definitely. The thing that I struggle with at the moment is, as you say, plan A, plan B. There isn't a plan B at the moment in terms of being able to switch it up because we haven't got a target man. All the strikers are very, very similar. The wingers are very, very similar. So if we did try and switch it up, we've got to switch it up with the same players. And if we do go 1-0 down and we have to come out of the traps and we have to start putting balls in the box, set pieces are big for Harris, you're really relying on Cooper and Tango and no one else really, because no one else has got the pedigree or proven they can do that. So I think once we get a target man in, we get some crosses of the ball in, a plan B will develop and maybe we'll see how Harris wants to play. I fully expect us to play 4-4-2. I don't think we can play that at the moment. I think we need to flood the midfield with the way Harris wants to play and play that deep line 10 that can get forward. But I'm just worried about the options we have in the positions we have at the moment. Want SA, want Imarku, want Langstaff, but behind them is quite poor. You look at the injuries we got. You look at left back and right back, Leonard and Brian, prone to injuries. Leonard's due an injury. Danny McNamara is the only backup to both of them positions. It's that's the worry. We're 1 or 2 injuries away from being back to where we were at last season, but in a worse state because we haven't got the numbers as well as the depth, as well as the quality.
I think just as a comment from Mike, I would suggest that although we say light on numbers, but I feel that the younger players will have more experience and will be playing more. They'll be much hungrier and produce more. Stephen, would you reckon to that? I mean, you've got players coming in that will be desperate to prove a point, I suppose. And that's, we did say that a lot last season. Ricky's right a little bit there. I hate to say it, but what do you think?
The thing is with the youth players, and I agree that maybe they should get more game time, but getting more game time and being forced to rely on them are two separate things. So if you I would love to see SA and Amaku get game time. I'd love to see them play and flourish and create opportunities. But we know as Millwall fans that one of the most famous ones is Paul Ifill. Paul Ifill used to get slagged off massively when he was young in his career with us because he would lose the ball or he would dip in form and then come back in. And he was a good player. So when we say about squad depth, you do need options to compensate, alongside the youth who may not have got the experience. I do agree that that perhaps having them being blooded into the first team squad over the last year will probably put them in good stead. I think there was a comment made by Joe Bryan to say that SA's bulked up a little bit and he's looking like physically stronger and better. So maybe the best is yet to come. I'd love to see I'd love to see SA and Amaku get some game time, but I would also like us to see a couple of faces in the door to help them along the season.
got this
Hang on. One sec. What do you mean help them?
Because you can't have Romain Esse and Adama Maku, in my opinion, are not going to play 46 games in the season. It's not going to happen. You need to have they're never going to play 46. No attacking players are going to play 46 games in the Championship. It's not going to happen. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter on age or anything. They could be in their mid-20s. Tom Bradshaw, Macaulay Langstaff, they're not going to play. How many times do we see, Jake Cooper and the goalkeeper are the only players that tend to play 40, 42, 43 games because of the positions they play.
But most of our front players, as in Bradshaw, are fucking dead on his feet. So you wouldn't play him for 46 games purely because his body wouldn't take it. But Amaku or Esse are younger players what can probably deal with most of that. Take out the cup games. I think they're.
I don't think Amaku can. I think Amaku.
I don't think Amaku can. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Injury-prone player. He takes a long time to get over some injuries as well. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to last the whole season. I think his style of play, his aggressive, fast-paced running, them type of players, they're susceptible to hamstrings, to ankle rolls, to them type of injuries, and he's proven that. He's been injured several times since he's been here already, and he hasn't even played that much. So
yeah, but what I'm saying is,
players that can come in and do a job though. Like George Holman can do a job out wide. We don't.
But doing a job and sustaining a reasonable season in the league is two different things, though. Do you not agree?
Prime example. What I'm trying to say is that if we'd have signed Ryan Gilchrist, right, Alfie Gilchrist, sorry, if we signed him, Esse wouldn't have got a try. Esse wouldn't have got a
right back.
Well, he's
one of the
defender.
youngsters wouldn't have got.
But
you get what I'm saying?
Well, not necessarily though, because it doesn't. I'm not saying that we need to sign a player that's going to take Romain Esse's position. What I'm saying is that when Romain Esse is out of form or gets a knock or needs a rest, you need to have someone coming in that can play in that position. You can't just, in my opinion, keep having, he can do a job, he can play there, he can do this. You get away with it for 1 or 2 games, but you can't get away with it over the course of 46 games. You need to have proper players, proper wingers that you can change a game. If you are 0-0 and Esse's given the ball away or it's not working or a Mako, you look to your bench and we've got Duncan Watmore. I bet you if you said to the guys in the comments now a season of having Duncan Watmore as your first choice winger off the bench, everyone would be right pissed off.
I think
that's what I'm saying.
I get I take what you're saying, and I think undoubtedly we're short in them areas, but we've still got 3-4 weeks to go over the window. So it's like
100%.
I get change. Yeah. In an ideal world, you want your business done before they go to Mercia. Every player signed, but then I think we've seen it other clubs as well. The window will develop late because players will become available, and I think it's not a bad idea to sit tight and wait for it. I think a little bit. Time will tell if it's right or wrong. But I mean, is anyone that's signed for other clubs recently that you think, we should have got them? I haven't really seen any players sign for other clubs where I've gone, that's a missed opportunity, or why didn't we go for him? Or like I'm thinking. Maybe Josh Murphy that went to Portsmouth on a free transfer from Oxford.
Yeah.
I'd like to have seen him.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I don't see many players out there going, that's a missed opportunity. Like, we was never going to get someone like Callum O'Hare. He wouldn't fit into what Harris does. We weren't, you see Matt Phillips has gone to Oxford. I wouldn't want Matt Phillips. Like, I'm thinking of other players out there. No one's really this week signed for other clubs and going, we could have got him. I think...
I just think that we've got a little bit of PTSD where... Langstaff's had his toe surgery, hasn't played much in the pre-season.
He played 28 games last year with his toe hurt.
Yeah, but he hasn't played much for us this season in this system. It's totally new to him, big step up. If he starts to struggle, which I'm not saying he will, and Esse and Marku struggle, or there's knocks, the fan base are not going to be happy with Duncan Watmore and Honeyman out wide with Bradshaw up top. It's not, for me, that's unacceptable. Because that is the biggest, they were probably the 3 positions we said that has to improve. That cannot be what we go into next season because all 3 of them players, apart from Moneyman, Watmore, injury prone, can only play 25 minutes. Bradshaw doesn't score goals, injury prone. This bit doesn't even fit in what Harris is doing, injuries. We really do lack in them areas. So while we're saying Marco are probably the future and we want to get them games, we still need viable backups that are capable of coming in, lasting and playing and contributing.
What I'm saying is that it's in that state, in that comment there, then realistically, you aren't looking to make key signings of people. You're looking to make signings of people that can do a job if and when you need it. Because if you're going with youth, you want players to be able to step in. But the thing is what you've got to understand as well is that you think realistically, we lost a keeper who wasn't on our books. There was no way that we were going to be looking at that books. And listen, we've all had fucking insurance claims and everything else. We know how long it fucking takes to get sorted out. And they've again got to sit there and go, actually, there's our transfer budget. Shit. We've now got to go and get ourselves 2 keepers and then obviously there. So I can understand why I think players are coming and rumours are flying around and that there's players potentially done and we're looking at them and they've got the list of the players they want. But if you look across everyone, there's only a handful of teams. Look at the Prem. The Prem seems to be going mad now to go, right, now they're suddenly putting bids in for big players, like they were talking on the thingy today of a Man City player and someone else 50, 60 million and all this. But no one's really moved through the window whatsoever. Good evening, Ben.
No, but
that's what I'm saying.
But you also need the players that their forte, their actual prowess is them positions. Duncan Watmore, I don't think is a winger. I don't even know what Duncan Watmore is. I think he's like a hybrid 10 striker type thing.
I can't wait for him to score the winners tomorrow. I can't wait.
And Honeyman's not a right winger. Honeyman is a little bulldog. You want him in the middle. So while these players can do a job, and they have proven they do a job, they're still not players that is their position. And you don't get any crosses from Duncan Watmore or Honeyman. They're there to be more defensive players to get us up the field, whereas we need to be on the front foot, stick crosses in the box, which we also haven't got a target man to do because we've got 3 of the 7 dwarfs as our strikers. So it's like we lack, and then you've got Fleming, who's a hybrid 9, who's touted to play as the 9. And it's like, if we need to sign players that actually play left wing, that actually play right wing, that actually play as a target man, to have a plan B, and to have players when they say struggle to come in and just go with it and not have to learn.
Also, players that Harris said we're looking at and the clubs that we're looking at, so they know it. They know it. I think
it's going to come. But we're talking about Watford and playing Watford tomorrow. As the team stands now, the squad stands now. We haven't got these players. They might be in a mess, but I wouldn't say we're in a much better position. And I know that shoot me down for that, but I don't think we are. We can only field 7 subs against Southampton, right? That's all we could field with injuries, and half of them were youth players. Now that's great for the youth, but we can only field 7 subs. We haven't even got the numbers yet to play a competitive championship season of 46 games without cup games with the youth and with the injury-prone players we have. We haven't even got the numbers in the squad, let alone what type of position, quality.
But we don't have to submit.
We still need
we
numbers.
Move on and spread some positivity, because I tell you what, I'm contemplating ending the live stream and walking off, boys, not even bothering to turn up.
I'm thinking of just fucking renaming it and call fucking bipolar fucking calling. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the next to the news from the week, I suppose. Because I want to get to the game and talk positively, because I'm going to fucking be buzzing. Right, come on. We've got a new kit out, boys, today. Mickey, I'll come to you first on this one, mate. What did you make of the new 3rd kit? Did you like it?
We did leak it a while back, didn't we? The white beigey one. So no, I think it's all right. Personally, I would have thought it would have been better as the away kit, the 2nd kit maybe. Rather than a 3rd, but unless we're going to be wearing it more often than not. But no, it's all right. I think it's nice. It's probably the better one out of 3 to a degree. Now seeing it worn.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. It's different. It's another kit. I'm not overly confused about kits. Don't get too high or too low about them. But chat, what do you reckon of the kits? Stephen, do you like the 3rd kit, mate?
It's the best one of the 3 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mickey's right. I think it would have been better suited to be the away rather than the 3rd. But I think what's quite strange as well with the home and the away, because they're both dark colours, aren't they? So I reckon that they've marketed this 3rd kit to be the one that we use quite regularly.
Let's just go for full disclosure. The only reason Stephen likes the white one is because he plays football in a white top and means that
That
he can
helps.
wear that top.
That helps. No, that does help. That does help. But it is, and there's a comment there from Lions Raw. The third keeper kit is really, really nice as well. That would have made a good kit for us this
Is
year.
that the one
but-
they announced Robertson, where he's wearing like the kind of orange?
No,
and
it's
red
no,
one?
it's black. It's black with
Oh.
like electric blue kind of like dashes.
Oh, yeah,
it
I
looks
know.
quite good. It looks good.
And in the Southampton pink kit, you seen that? Fuck me.
That's a bit leery, isn't it? That is a bit leery. But the thing is, as Omar, I do like. I do like the kits. But all that matters is how they play in them, really.
Yeah,
Isn't
kit is
it?
only
Let's be honest.
successful. I think I said a couple of shows that a kit is only successful. A kit's only good when you look back at the team and go, yeah, that was the year we remember this or that, I think, for me personally. But there you go. It's a kit. You always get the same comments. It looks like a training kit. It looks like this. I mean, Joe, what did you make of it? Do you like the third kit?
Yeah, I really do like it. I think it's nice and clean. You know, there's not too much going on there. It looks like a really nice kit. I think the second kit took people by surprise because I don't think it's what we expected, even just colour-wise or anything like that. So that may grow on people. But yeah, no, I really like the third kit. I love the colour concept of it. So yeah, no, good job on that. But like you just said, Omar, I don't care if we play in bin bags, mate. If it puts points on the board, I don't care.
Fast forward as well. I saw this week as well. Obviously, we're doing the Sarkic stuff tomorrow, pre-game and the tributes, and it's obviously going to be quite moving before the game. But also, do you see the mural go around as well, Stephen? As well, I thought obviously South Lower. It's going to be in the concourse. I think that was a good touch from the club. It looks quite nice, and yeah, I mean, obviously behind the goal, I suppose behind the home goal, I like the sentiments of that. Really, it looks really nice.
100%. The players as well have kind of stepped up massively, haven't they? They've been requesting certain things the club do to honour Matty. Obviously, I don't know how much they have a say in the mural, but it's very, very good. I thought it was a nice touch. I think it's been done in the best possible way, and I use this loosely, but in a classy way. They're trying to do it the right way, remember him the right way. Obviously, tomorrow, the beginning of the game, his family will be there, and I think I'd urge anyone watching this or listening back to try and get in your seats as early as you can to make sure you're there for that, because I think it's the least that Matty deserves. But really good from the club. I love the fact that they've retired the shirt as well. The whole thing, they've handled it as well as they could have.
Yeah, I agree. Jay, what did you make of the mural? I think it looks quite neat, and yeah, looks obviously. I look forward to it tomorrow. To be fair, it looks quite nice.
Yeah, me too, man. Just to echo what Stephen said, look, it doesn't matter whether you've played for this club for 5 matches or you've played for this club for 15 years. Once a Lion, always a Lion, and we'll always treat our own with the utmost respect, with the utmost tributes, and we'll give it our all. We're a great club when it comes to doing things like that. I think we're unmatched with what we do with the armed forces, with players that and personnel within the club that do leave us in that way. And it's going to be an emotional day, which should set the players up, should set Harris up, should set the atmosphere for let's do this for Sarkic. It should make for a good day all round, and we need to celebrate Sarkic as well as Morning, because he come on really well to the end of the season and was a mainstay in helping us keep our championship status alive. So look, yeah, once a Lion, always a Lion, and it's a great touch by the club.
I think the players will definitely be motivated, Mickey, won't they, to get the business done for him tomorrow, Mickey, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think, there's been a few comments, about, last year in Bristol and this, that, and the other, and, with the Bristol City game and all that. I think it's different because I think, yes, the players knew of John, but I think with Matty, it was a closer relationship. And I know he was only there for 1 season, but I think it's a much closer relationship. And I think they will want to go out and prove something. So,
at the end of the day,
it'll be different.
At the end of the day, that's one of their brothers. They go to war with each other every week, all season. They see each other more than they see their families. And when one of your brothers goes down like that, you club together. And it is, I agree with what Mickey just said. It is kind of a little bit different in that sense, that the fact that they're out there on the front line with Matty Sarkic, and they're going to turn around tomorrow and he's not going to be there. It's going to be someone else. So it is going to be emotional. But yeah, the club have done the right thing, and all we can do is echo that and back it, and hope we pull a result out for him.
Definitely. I mean, Beeline's comment there. Sarkic was improving with every performance as well. I think he would have been quality for us. I totally agree. It's just a tragic shame that we can't really see that play out this year, really. And I'm sure we'll echo that one, really. I guess we'll talk about the lack. We already sort of spoke about lack of transfers, but did anyone see today about Malumbi's ban? Well, ban. I mean, I read this. I read the FA spokesperson's tweet, and it was along the lines of he's banned for the 5 club friendly games, but their club games. I took it as. I don't know if anyone agreed with that. How do you ban someone from a friendly game? Firstly, because how do you control that? Because if it's behind closed doors, is that classed as a friendly as well? I don't know. Bit all over the place with that one, but I don't know who was coming that one. I don't know what to think.
I've got some thoughts on it, and it's definitely, and I can understand the ban if it's a really couple of naughty tackles, and you think, right, look, you need to miss a couple games, a couple friendly games, but that was physical assault. Let's have it right. He's you could take the boy out of Millwall, but you can't take the Millwall out of the boy, I guess. And I think in terms of the link to Malumbi, I think that's really there. I think there is a lot of truth to it. I think we do want to bring him in, and this was probably the biggest hurdle that had to fall, because with the type of ban he's got for the incident that he's committed, you could expect anything from a 5-game ban that he's got in a friendly to a season-long ban. This stuff doesn't happen. So you picture back to Kieran Dyer and Lee Bowyer at Newcastle, what went on with there. So I think we was waiting for that, because if you bring him in now and he's got a lengthy ban, we're still paying his wages. All that plays into a part of it. So I think that might move a little bit quicker if we do want to bring him in. But yeah, it's very odd, and I don't think anybody expected it to be a 5-game ban, let alone. But for friendly games, yeah, I think that's a win-win.
Weird. I mean, that's like, someone's gone in at the time of them thinking what to do and just sort of changed, just sort of inputted friendly rather than a 5-match ban. Do you know what I mean? By the time that's gone from the office who's written it to the press office, and someone between that time's just written friendlies, because it makes no sense. How the fuck do you ban someone?
It's like punching someone in Sainsbury's and the police saying you just can't go to Sainsbury's for 5 weeks now.
The wording of it is West Bromwich Albion's Jason Malumbi has been fined £16,000 and suspended from the club's next 5 friendly matches for misconduct during the pre-season match against Real Mallorca on Saturday, 27th of July. The Midfield accepted that his behaviour during the fixture constitutes violent conduct, and an independent regulatory commission imposed sanctions at a hearing. I mean, Mickey, go on, tell me what you thought there. But like I said, it's just clubs friendly. So, like, if he moves on, like, I don't know. Ultimately, he's got away with it. It's great. It's great for us, because if we do go for him, he's not banned, and that's the benefit for us, I suppose, in that scenario.
No, that's it. I mean, I heard that we were looking at a loan. I think it's probably best, buy a loan, see whether or not it's good or not, and then look at getting him. He's got a year left on his contract. Could end up getting him for a free or really cheap. And he will definitely. He knows Harris. He performed under Harris before. He's also only 24, so it'd be a good potential buy, maybe, if you can get him at the right price. And again, few years left in him, and get him playing for a couple of seasons, and then hopefully sell him on for a nice profit and reinvest. So yeah, I like the fact that we're buying fairly youngish players this season as well. Do you know what I mean? I think it's good.
I think he's a long-term Savile replacement as well.
Yeah, he's only 24 years old as well. So, like, lap it up, take it in, and I'd have him in a heartbeat as a long-term replacement for Savile, to be honest. I mean, Stephen, I don't think I've had your opinion on that one really on the shows, but Malumbi, having it?
I am, if the plan is to sort of, as much as I love Sav, to phase Sav out and him take on that role. I think right now it's probably not the position that we're probably thinking we desperately need, but if the plan is that this is going to be kind of Sav's last hurrah and we need someone longer term, and Malumbi's available now, go and get him, sign him up, get him on the long-term deal, providing all the price is right. And he's worked with Harris. We know him. He was playing very, very well for us. He's a, the typical, I know we've said it a lot, the Millwall type player. And the fans, I think, would buy into that that transfer. So yeah, absolutely. He's a good player that we have to accept sometimes that players come to us and we're not going to be able to hold on to them. Our clubs offer more money. Malumbi, Jed Wallace, for example, but there's always that option later down the line for them to come back and have an influence. George Savile did exactly the same thing. So why can't Malumbi?
Do you know what as well, Stephen? On that is that you can see the vision with signing like Malumbi, because you've got Alfie Massey emerging, who looks very much like a Casper Denore 2.0, very calm on the ball, can spread it wide. And then you got Malumbi that is very much like a Saville, and then a Billy Mitchell who's sort of that guy you bring on to shore up. So you can see a midfield structure that could last years with Denore, Malumbi, Massey and Billy Mitchell. That could really solidify that for a long time. So I think, it's low key, it's not a massive urgent need, but you can see the vision with that type of
Yeah.
There is
on the subject of Mitchell, do we think, obviously with Malumbi, I know it's probably right time. It's not maybe not the right time, but opportunity comes, you've got to take him. The fact we are looking for another midfielder, is Mitchell's injury probably really bad?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously it was what was it reported as? It wasn't. I don't think it was reported ACL though. I think it was reported as something slightly different. So maybe it's worse than what was originally feared. I suppose.
Crucial. Wasn't it a crucial? I think it was
a crucial ligament. Isn't ACL? It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I think it was said crucial. I think it was.
To touch on what you said, Omar, I can't see us signing another midfielder unless one of the midfielders we've got's got a problem. We know that Billy Mitchell has a problem, and I don't think with Massey being, the emergence of him, the fact that we're still looking for one says to me that Mitchell is going to be out long term, which is a shame. It is a shame.
Billy Mitchell has got a thigh injury and a muscle tear in his quad.
Right.
The
thing is as well, though, is that we've got another Casper Denore in Massey. We potentially got another George Saville if Malumbi comes in. We haven't actually got anyone that can do what Billy Mitchell does. Billy Mitchell is the modern Jimmy Abdou. He's that just run around and just pressure on people. If Leonard moves into midfield, he's injured within 10 minutes. That's why he's at right back, because you keep him out of the firing line.
I agree, but you could, if needs must, I think you could.
It would have to be
there and do the role.
Bare desperation to stick Leonard back in midfield, I think.
There's another rumour flying around, which, I don't know how much legs it's got or not, but would you take Cuffy back? Because he's only got a year left on his contract as well, isn't he, I think, at Arsenal?
I wouldn't mind him as an option out wide, I think. I mean,
but Harris
as a winger,
that is the problem. But did Harris not play him because Harris didn't know what he was like and didn't play him, or did Harris because Harris had to get us out of relegation, so he was going with players he knew would perform and he knew how to do? Because out of them all, someone who went to the end of season, like when the players were leaving on the final day, it's a shame you put it on, because all what's been going through my head for about the last 10 minutes is, he's just a young boy.
Well, Peter Stephen put 50p in the
But I think when I was speaking, Dan Riggs will back it up, because Dan Riggs said that Cuffy was the only one who seemed fairly happy with at the end, like he seemed excited that maybe it might be back, might not. The rest of them, Obafemi and that, just looked as if they were fucking pleased to get out the door as quickly as possible.
Wasn't there, sorry, Joe, wasn't there talk though that Norton Cuffy had a deal lined up abroad? He wanted to challenge himself abroad, like leave Arsenal permanently, but he's not gone anywhere. I think he would be a good option, but I would say to him, you're coming in as a winger. None of this full wing.
Oh, he has to be a winger, yeah.
Get him further up the pitch.
Yeah, definitely.
The thing with Cuffy is that it's this type of player that a club like us with limited finances has to look at, because he's very versatile. He can play anywhere across that front midfield line, even in a 10. He has done it times before, and he can play at right back, and he was serviceable at right back. So if you can get essentially 3-4 players in one player, I think we need. That's why we've gone and got the likes of a Honeyman or Watmore. These players that can play multiple positions with the finances we got. It'd be a great signing, and he was good for us. He was very good for us, especially out on the wing.
I'll tell you what as well, one thing about him, they always say about loan players don't always care. I know we've moved on from last season, but the one game at Ipswich where they run us ragged, and in the 90th minute, he chased down from our box all the way into midfield forward and tried to chase down the goalkeeper. Now, loan players come and they don't, others don't really care. I think he did care, and I think he did want to be there, and he enjoyed his time at the club. So I would have a look at him if he's available. But again, it's what kind of fee Arsenal.
I've seen some buzz at Coventry
one.
on socials today about Cuffy. Seen some buzz that they're pining for him to come back. Their fans, so you know whatever materialises.
Ryan Longman, I think as soon as they outpriced him, I think it just
he's also dislocated his shoulder as well. So
he's out for the long term.
Yeah, he's dislocated his shoulder in pre-season and supposedly played quite well for Hull, from what I read. So might have been an opportunity to play there. So he apparently had a really good pre-season, but he's got an injury. So yeah, I mean, we'll stay away anyway from transfers and news, I suppose, and talk about Watford's what we're to expect from them tomorrow. Anyone know what to expect from Watford? I think there's a lot of negativity around them at the moment. I mean, they seem to be kind of free falling. Tom Cleverley's the manager as well.
That's an interesting choice. That's a bit like us choosing Joe Edwards. Is it going to be, right time, wrong place? I don't know.
I mean, he's going to be sat by October, isn't he? He's going to be sat by October.
He played for Watford though, didn't he? So the only difference is he does give them that little bit of. He's been around the club, but it is an odd. They're just an odd football club, though, aren't they? They've got they sat their managers left, right, and centre. They churn players through the door. It just seems like the Premier League is a million miles away from them, but it shouldn't have been.
Regressed so much, and also their playing squad. They are said it plays for fun. That's Spriller's in the comments there from Peter Sullivan. Yeah, I think he's going for like 20 million or so stupid, but they're not reinvesting. And I remember I take his obviously the Pozzo family, the chairman owns Watford and Udinese. Udinese is signing players for fun at the moment. Watford are signing next to no one, and Tom Ince is playing regularly in pre-season. So there you go. There's your buzzword. Tom Ince is featuring tomorrow, and we'll know how that goes. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how he performs tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, I looked through their squad the other day and I done a little preview for one of their channels, and I didn't recognise half the players, to be honest. Like, their defence is still quite stocked, I'd say. Obviously, the likes of Ryan Porteous, who got sent off for Scotland in the Euros. You got, Jeremy Njiko, who's their right back that was in the Premier League. Daniel Barkman's their goalkeeper and the captain now. Aside from that, I said Tom Ince, and then further forward in the pitch, there's no one there that really stood out to me. And from what I heard, how they played towards the end of last season, it was very much like us in a sense, where it was like battling to stay up. And like a lot of people are tipping them to go down this year, which is crazy because when you think of Watford, you think they're quite an established club at this level, outside chance of the Premier League, but they've fully regressed and seem to be going in only one direction. I mean, Jay, do you know much of what Watford's to offer us tomorrow? Have you looked into them at all?
Yeah, I have had a fair look. I mean, they signed Musa Sissoko, who's got wealth of experience. He's probably going to be a great player at this level. He should not be underestimated at this level, even at 34. Tom Cleverley's favoured like a 5 at the back. He's favoured a 5-2-3, which is going to open up things in midfield for us, which is we're better off probably playing a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 to counter that. The 5 at the back is going to be obviously difficult for us to break down because we haven't got the type of players or the range of players to be able to really go at Watford with a 5 at the back, I think. So I think it'd be cagey. Tom Cleverley, for me, again, look, he's unknown. We can't speculate, but he isn't going to have the same club player to manager impact that Neil Harris has had. Not a chance. I think that if he could have chose one place not to go for his opening debut as manager of Watford, it would have probably been Millwall away. Especially under the reasons I just labelled there. But no, they'll probably set up a 5-2-3, like you mentioned, Porteous, Musa Sissoko. They've got a couple of unknowns in there. So the scouting would have been a bit tougher for Harris, I think. I don't think there's much film or availability in this league for us to be able to watch and pinpoint strengths and weaknesses. So I think it'd be very, very cagey from both teams because with our transfer window, with our needs, with Watford's instability and unknown and all the changes that they've had, I expect a bit of a cagey affair. But yeah.
The one player that I think concerns me from them, he scored against us last year at their place, is a big guy, Danish guy. I think his name's Rakovic, or Rajovic. Someone might be able to correct me on that. He scored a header for them at Watford right at the end to equalise, but a big physical centre forward, probably looking to put crosses into the box. Someone that we would probably want as a backup in our team. So I think from memory, they have lost a few, but I actually thought he was pretty good and caused us some trouble last year.
I think for me though, like if you when you say that, I think that's perfect for us tomorrow. If that's how they're going to play, I mean, I don't know what to expect from them. But if you said when the fixture came out, and now talking about it now, if you said to me at the start of the season, like, or if you're Millwall, surely I know football's not played on paper, and there's a lot more to it than that. And this is Millwall we're talking about, and the hope and expectations will be on us to get a result tomorrow. But I think being at home with everything that goes with that, first game of the season, I think they're the perfect opposition for us tomorrow. I really do. And just hopefully I've read obviously some of their comments as well, and they're not looking forward to their trip tomorrow to the Den. So we've got to play on that massively.
Definitely.
100%.
I think you're gonna have to do that. I think you're gonna have to do that all season, because like Harris made the comment, didn't he, and said that, you know, the fear factor is coming back after what happened last year, and clubs will be looking at it going, "Oh, I don't fancy that. I'm not, you know, Millwall away." That it used to be, or last season it was Millwall away, we're going to come and take the piss. Yeah. This time, I'm not so sure Harris is going to allow that. We might not win every game, but he won't allow that.
No, it's just what's going to keep us up in this league. Our home form. It's what's kept us up in the leagues when we was under Harris before. Home form was pivotal. That we've never been a good away side. We mentioned it before on previous podcasts last season. If you could choose a home manager and away manager, it'd be great. It's not a good place to come for Watford, especially in the recent 3 or 4 fixtures we've played each other. We should have beat them away. I was at Watford away last season. We should have beat them away there under interim boss Adam Barrett. And Tom Cleverley's going to be quaking his boots tomorrow, because after the tribute, the Den is going to be rocking. The first game of the season is the most packed it gets all year, unless one of the big guns come down. And they're not going to look forward to it.
And that's why it's good that we got Neil Harris, because Neil Harris will he will tell one of his players, right, as soon as that whistle goes, just fucking go through. The atmosphere's there. Everyone's going to be electric. You need to get into one of those fucking Watford players and bring the crowd on. And to be honest, that is probably the pantomime villain there, because everyone knows he will bite. So literally go fucking through him and get the crowd on side, and that will be it. It will be game over. And also just look at Watford, 1 game down, Tango has 1 more game, and then he'll be back in the league. Yeah. So, you know, it's all good. But look, we're talking about players and whatnot, and we're cracking on. So you 3 are supposedly the experts, and we'll put it out to the chat as well. So, you know, we'll start with the keeper. I don't know who you're going with. Are you going with Truman? Are you going with, you know, Lenson? Or are you going with Roberts? Omar, I'll start with you, then I'll go you, Jay, and then obviously Stephen. Be good to see where you are. If you're in the comments, get in the comments now. Tell us who your keeper choice is tomorrow, and let us know what's what. Omar, who is your keeper for Millwall versus Watford?
So I assume we're saying we're playing a 4-4-2, right? Because it's Neil Harris's 4-4-2, right?
Whatever way you want to go with it.
In goal for me tomorrow, I think it'll be Jensen in goal tomorrow. I think you sign him for a fee. You've obviously, I do think Roberts gets a look in this year. I really do still think that. But Jensen's clearly got the nod, I think, to start the season. He obviously made a mistake last week. But yeah, I think that it will be, you know, I think he'll get the nod tomorrow, and that would be my choice in goal as well.
Jason,
yes,
Jay, even.
I agree, and that was one of our questions on our prediction podcast that we did. So if you haven't seen that, go back and check that out. But yeah, I've gone with Jensen for the same reasons that Omar alluded to. You spent some money on him. I think that he's going to be on a short leash. But yeah, I think we roll with him.
Stephen?
Yeah, I can't see anything other than Jensen personally. I think he's been brought in. He was the first one in the door. I think he was the number 1 target. So clean sweep.
How about yourself, Mickey?
I think that's it for me, mate. I think I'm in trouble now.
I'll read some of the comments to get me the screen anyway. I've gone for Jensen, so is Alex, so is Aaron.
I'm going to go Roberts.
Okay, right. It's just be a contrarian, no doubt.
No.
So is Andrew, so is Peter, so is Chris. Truman laughing faces from Beeline. I don't think that's his suggestion for the goalie, but the Great Dane from the Daily Millwall, and also Kid Jensen from Millwall Holdings. But
do you know what I'm going with, Roberts?
Go on, tell me.
Because this is my thinking is in the pink kit. Jensen looks fairly similar.
Where are we going
And,
with this?
no, I'm just saying. And I just think that it could be a little bit too close. So I think Roberts will get the first game tomorrow.
I doubt it. You never know. I think the majority's gone for Jensen anyway. No one actually said Roberts, so that goes to show.
3 points tomorrow from you boys, I bet.
What, are you going to put a bet on it?
Yeah, I'll put a bet. Pint.
I bet you.
But you heard that, chat. Clip that.
Fight the black stuff, Mickey. That Jensen starts tomorrow.
Yeah. Put Scotty Chitty up a sec. He's got a question for you.
Quick question. Why do you all think we will do poorly when we have basically the same team as end of last year? I agree.
I agree completely. It's not me. It's them. But obviously you are watching this backwards, so you won't actually see this question quite yet, but you will get to it. And I agree with you. It's negative Jay and negative Steve.
I agree with their point. I agree where Steve was going with this.
I'll answer it after Steve.
I know where they're both going to go, and I'll predict it. It's more about sustainability and sustain it across the course of the season. But no, I'm positive. I really am.
Harris was brought in to, let's be honest, to shithouse Millwall to staying in the division, and we went to Southampton, had 17% of the ball. We at Blackburn over. We were there. We had 2 chances in the game, and it was the most depressing game of football I think we've ever been to. Harris did a job over 13 games. He had 13 cup finals. That's what he said. I've got 12 cup finals left. I've got 11 cup finals left. I've got 10. We all said it on this show week after week. That's how it was being perceived. Can you play that cup style football for 46 games? I don't think you can. I don't think you can personally, but I'd love to be proved. Listen, Arsenal made a habit that year, didn't they? 1-0 to the Arsenal, went on and won the league. If Harris can find a way of winning every game 1-0 and we get promoted, I'll take it all back. I just don't think we can do it for 46 games.
No, and my reason was squad depth and players that are behind the youth that we don't want to see last year for the reasons that Stephen alluded to. It's long-term stability. It's about getting through the season and staying up, and we played a certain style to stay up. I'm not going to go too into it because we've already discussed it, but yeah.
No, nor am I, because I've got your bleeper reel from your fantasy show. So we can go forward on that one. So,
Right back.
I'm not going to take your fucking football knowledge. So yeah.
Who's going to play right back tomorrow? Jay, you've asked. It's going to be Ryan Leonard, isn't it? Everyone's going to have Ryan Leonard, surely. And chat, get your comments in. Ryan Leonard, right? Surely.
Yeah.
Brian Orme, actually. No,
Brian.
No, this is a shoe in. The whole comments is going to say Lenny, and if they're not trolling, that's a nice easy one. I think we can move on to right centre back.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to say Leonard's. I mean, Mickey, are you going to play Danny McNamara right back? I mean, it's hard for me not to go Danny Mac, obviously, but you know.
No, I think Leonard. I think while Leonard's fit, play Leonard.
Okay, right. We'll go left back next, actually, because I think that would be a bit of a controversial one. But comments anyway quickly. Alex has gone right back for Leonard. Leonard for Adam. Leonard for Andrew. Easy choice. Leonard from Daily Millwall as well. Let's go left backs. I think there's a bit more contention there. I would play Danny Mac tomorrow left back. And I know I'm Danny McNamara's fan club. I know. But I think also last season, it's for me, he was probably one of the better players in the final running games. Like, considering he's playing out of position as well. And he's likely to have a winger in front of him because on that side, it seems to be Watmore. I think it works, the idea of having like Danny Mac just there to defend. He won't overlap. Danny Mac is a right back, an old school fullback. And I think it suited him. So I do think he's harshly done. I get why Harris is going to probably go with Brian because of the balance. And obviously, you know, he's a left foot at left back. And I think he mentioned that a couple of times in the last season as well. But I would honestly think Danny Mac's done, you know, he done nothing wrong when he played there last season. And I think we played well with him in the side, personally.
I would agree 100%, but unfortunately, Neil Harris ain't going to agree with you, mate.
We'll go with what we want.
I would go with Danny Mac. He was excellent for the last 6-7 games. He really was. But I think Harris is going to go over left-footed left back. Unfortunately,
yeah,
I think he'd probably go with Brian. See how it goes first half, and if he's not really in that much trouble, then maybe second half get him off fairly soon and put Danny Mac in then.
Okay, well, my feeling behind it is a little bit more tactical. I think he's going to go Brian tomorrow. Reason being is that Danny Mack is the only backup to Ryan Leonard and to Joe Bryan. And if Leonard goes down and you've already got Brian, you're making changes for the sake of making changes. Brian's had a decent pre-season, looked very good. He looks fit. He's come out and said he's as fit as he's ever been. He's played a lot as well, so Harris has got a good look at him. I think it's Brian's job until it isn't, because I think ultimately Harris wants him there because we need his deliveries. He is good at getting forward. He does give us a bit more of an attacking threat as opposed to Danny. So I do think it's Brian purely based on squad numbers and depth at both positions. And then maybe Danny Mack creeps in if Brian's on a short leash or gets injured, which I'll probably expect him to do. But yeah, I've gone Brian for that reason.
Yeah, no, I think I listen. I'm not against Brian playing there, to be honest, but I think I just don't think Danny done himself any harm last year. But let's be honest, he will probably play more than 30 games this season because what we mentioned about the injuries and stuff. So, and you're right, it's good to have that versatility option there, and it takes the pressure off maybe having to worry about replacing Murray Wallace's injury as such as well. Mickey, who would you play left back, mate?
What's that on left?
Yes,
It'll be Coffee Man.
Coffee shop boy. Well, the comments are to back that up. Everyone's gone Joe Bryan left back. Peter says left back. So does Daily Millwall. So does Alex. So does Andrew. Mabel says Brian left back. So does Connor. So does Adam. And the coffee shop boy bloke from Mike and also Chris as well. So yeah, I mean, look, it's obviously a clean sweep. So is Rob as well. I get it. And I know where everyone's going with that. But I don't think Danny done himself any harm. I wouldn't be surprised me if he's in the side at some point and doing a job there that we'd expect him to do. Should we go right centre half or left centre half next?
Do both. Do pairing.
Do the pairing. Okay. So your centre half pairs, chat. Who would be at the back in centre half? I'll go to you first, Stephen.
I'm going for the tried and tested, old school, retro, running it back. Sean Hutchinson and Jake Cooper. You got to. I mean, if someone's just put in the comments there about Wes Harding, if it's Wes Harding, I think everyone's just going to turn around and leave because nice bloke and all that, but it's not the answer until Tanganga's back. Obviously, he will be the first choice and he's going to play every single game, and rightly so. But old school, running it back, Hutch and Cooper.
I'm glad you went for that because I am going to be different. I would probably play Harding right centre half. Purely based on he's had a full pre-season. I think my only doubt, I don't doubt Hutch. And I remember saying in that Christmas period, because I remember even having a conversation with you, I think, Stephen, I was like, I was backing Hutch and everyone was saying his legs are gone. And I remember this conversation being had. It might not have been with you, Steve, but I've done a show.
No, you stuck up for him with Dan. Dan and Ben threw him under the bus big time.
Yeah, and you can't doubt Hutchinson's quality, and I do back him. If he plays tomorrow, I would have no qualms whatsoever. But I do feel like if I was Neil Harris, how I'd look at this week coming up is Harding is probably played a full pre-season. He's been around. Obviously they both had 45 last week, so I think it's clear to see he's still maybe making his mind up last week. I felt like that was my opinion on that one. But I do think on the back of that, I'd give Hutch Tuesday night against Portsmouth to get his 90 minutes in the bank. And I'd probably go with Harding tomorrow. That's how I'd look at it if I was Neil Harris. But then again, maybe it's a must-win tomorrow. Get us a good start. We'll see.
All I'm saying is, I'm glad you're not Neil Harris.
Do you know what? I get it because I'm not Harding's biggest fans either. But I think because he had a full pre-season,
I get that. I do get that.
And I think also, I don't know what we're going to get from Watford, but if there's a bit of pace in that forward line, I would be very worried with the idea of lack of pace between the centre halves. Is my only thing. And I think at times when Cooper might make a mistake in the areas where he's trying to get across, you need someone to back him up. And I think with that turn of pace, I'd rather I get it. And if they're both fit, it'd be Hutch for me. Maybe Hutch is fit. Who knows? We'll find out tomorrow if he plays. But I'm not sure. Joe, what about you, mate?
I've gone. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said Harding. But watching Hutchinson against Southampton, Cooper looked sure, calm. He's a much, much better centre half when he plays with Sean Hutchinson. And Sean Hutchinson actually had a really good 45 minutes, dealt with everything, was sure in his passing, leading the back line. And we nullified Southampton for all their pace they've got. I don't think they got out of first gear, but that was a good 45 minutes for Hutch. He looks fit, and he's the club captain. He's going to play. You're not going to play Harding over the club captain if he's fit, which I expect that he is. So based on the 45 minutes he had, how he makes Cooper better, how he makes the whole defence and the back line better, it'd be good for Jensen to have Hutchinson in front of him as a new keeper.
Or Roberts.
Roberts can settle their nerves a little bit of playing at a higher level in a new stadium, new defence in front of them, live bullets. Hutchinson there to keep it calm, to take the messages from Harris. I think Hutchinson makes the most sense if he's fit, and I fully expect it to be Hutchinson and Coop. That's what I've gone with.
Vicky?
I think what you said there is probably going to be right. I would rather play Harding and let Hutch come in, get some more time under his belt and come in. But we all know that realistically it's going to be Tango, and Hutch is there to cover Tango, and then Harding will be there to cover Hutch. But I don't know. I think I would probably go Harding, to be fair, because I think Harding's a good lad. He's meant to be fantastic round the team, round the squad. He's really positive, everything else, and I think he just needs some game time.
It surprised me when I was at Mercia how much Harding actually talks in that back line. I know Hutch will bring that leadership, but when I was in Mercia, obviously, because it's quiet, there's not many fans there, but I was really surprised of his involvement and how he's dictating, the team to get up the pitch and stuff like that as well. It's not something I really saw in Harding personally last season, but obviously it shows how much I paid attention, or probably what state I was in watching the games. But when I was watching the Mercia game, 10:30 kickoff in the morning, I had no excuse. I'm watching it. I was actually quite surprised on he's telling the team to get up the field and stuff as well. And I don't know. I wouldn't, if Harding got the nod tomorrow, I wouldn't be so against it like Stephen is anyway. That's for sure.
There's a controversial one. Chris Brown says Cooper is on a sticky wicket regarding selection.
I must admit, it's not the way he ended last season.
Yeah, I think the way he ended it, and obviously Harris loves him, Cooper loves Harris. It's both ways. That I think I disagree. I think at one point last season, I was really concerned about Cooper, because obviously we offered him that new deal last summer.
I was gunning for him.
Yeah, but then Cooper is keep him inside the 18-yard lines, don't drag him out wide, and he'll do a job. Which is also why I'm concerned if Brian's bombing up the left-hand side of the pitch, and you're asking Cooper to cover that left-hand flank. I can see a world where Cooper gets skinned, and that's my worry.
The other side of it as well is that we don't have a target man up front. We don't have that big boy up there for set pieces, corners, and if we have to go up there in the 95th minute and shithouse it, Cooper needs to play for that very reason, because although he may not get the ball all the time, he demands the attention. And he was prosperous under Harris. He scored his goal, what we was waiting for a long time. He was very good, and 100%. Cooper's got to be one of the first. He's one of the first names under Harris. Let's be honest.
Ben, we've got someone who does another show, and they've asked a question for you. It's he does this fantasy EFL, but to be fair, mate, his knowledge is pretty shit. But he's just asking the question: did you go Mercia, Roma?
I did go Mercia. Did you also know I went to the Euros as well, guys? Whilst I'm at it, I was at the final.
Is this a new Ben and Plymouth thing? Is it Omar and Mercia, Ben and Plymouth? Dan and Plymouth. Is that what's happening here?
I did go Mercia, guys. Everyone watching, I went Mercia, just so we know.
Can I just add in on the Cooper piece, Jay, on the subject of not having a target man? That for me, I think Omar uses the phrase set piece FC.
Yes.
Jake Cooper is the first name on the team sheet, and for those of you that aren't aware, Omar has put his life savings on Jake Cooper anytime tomorrow. He will be doing it throughout the season. But he's got to play. He's going to be a threat under Harris. He's going to be a threat. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think his selection's in any doubt whatsoever.
I thought I set pieces last week.
Not with the people behind him, anyway.
I thought set pieces last week were dog shit though. Go on, Mickey.
Yeah, but do you know what the funny bit was? Is that and it looked genuine as well. That last week obviously was a fans forum, and there was a fella there who turned around and said, why do we keep? I'll come back to that comment in a minute, Jonathan. A fan turned around to Neil Harris and said, Why is it that we keep putting the ball when we have a set piece, we keep putting it to Cooper? Everyone knows that it's going to Cooper, yet we keep playing it to him. And Neil Harris was like, well, realistically, if Cooper gets it and he's on form, he's going to bury it. And that's why, we would look, if there was other players who could do the same thing what he could and his size and whatnot, then we'd put it there. But it's there to do what he does, and he does it well, and we're keeping it in there like that. And then I turned around and said, yeah. And also it benefits us because every week is at least 9-1 or more. And Neil Harris and Steve Gallen went, what? Really? And they both looked in complete shock at each other as if to say, what the fuck? And it was like, yeah, no, they're fucking, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, listen, you keep playing him. There's a few people I know what put a $5 and a $10 on him every game. And they pretty much do all right out of it most seasons. So, yeah.
Yeah, the other thing as well is that Cooper is that guy who lumps it forward. The very first play of the game, the very first update from Millwall at home at Southampton was Jensen out to Cooper, and Cooper smashes it out of play up at the byline. It's Neil Harris football. This is back, ladies and gentlemen. It's 4-4 fucking 2. It's Cooper lumping it up top to fucking 5'5" strikers. So it goes out of play, and that's us. We accept that.
So we've done the defence. Yeah. Let's have your midfield then, gents.
So
who are you playing? Yeah, we go. So what are we? So we go
with two centre mids.
Two centre mids first, and then we do left and right. So Omar, 2 centre mids.
It's got to be Denore and Sav for me tomorrow. I think obviously Harris has paired them up all throughout pre-season. Even if you look at the 45-minute teams that we played, it was always Denore and Saville.
Get your pairings as well in the chat if you can. Come on, let's see what yours are in the chat now.
Yeah, I think it's been deliberate from Harris. I think obviously Denore's got his opportunity because Mitchell's injured, and I thought he could play quite well last week. And like I mentioned about playing from the back generously when it comes to Neil Harris being a manager, but I think there was times where I saw, from the goal kicks, we were looking to get Denore on the ball in the middle, let him ping it long, and hopefully get one of the wingers to chase onto it, a Marco or SA potentially. I would play Denore and Saville tomorrow.
We'll go Stephen next. Go on, fella.
Yeah, partnership of dreams. I think the two of them, their attributes have exactly what you'd want in this system. Someone that's going to break up the play and kind of do the kind of donkey work that the other one doesn't really want to do. And then Casper being the kind of more creative going forward, trying to get us going, pick passes. So I would, there was a comment about Massey getting an opportunity, which would be amazing to see, but I just don't think it's going to happen on the first game of the season. So Casp and Sav for me.
It's 2-0 at Deep now, by the way. 2-0 Sheffield United. So if anyone's got that on.
Jason,
no,
Jay,
but I've got Sheffield United on the fantasy, Jay. So
okay.
Was it 2-0?
2-0 Sheffield United. Yeah,
I've got 2-0 on our prediction league.
Oh God, here we go.
I've gone with Yin and Yang, Laurel and Hardy, Chaz and Dave, Mickey and Omar, Jay and Ben. I've gone with the counterbalance to the two, and Caspar for exactly the same reasons that Stephen alluded to. One does one job, one does the other. Harris made a big thing about when Caspar was out of the side, about talking to him, telling him, look, this is the situation we're in. You have got a massive part to play at this club because you're a fantastic footballer. Spoke about that many times over his time at the end of last season. And he's as Omar said, he's played in pre-season. He's looked really sure, looked really good. He's got a big part to play. Probably one of the first names on the team sheet under Harris. Harris recognises he could probably do what no other midfielder we've got can do. And you need that balance between the two. So it's going to be Sav. It's going to be Caspar until maybe a signing comes in. If you haven't know who that is, have a look back.
I think I wasn't on the North fan club hype when I said this last season a few times. I didn't think he was terrible by any means. Everyone was saying he's our best player by a clear country mile and all this sort of stuff. I didn't subscribe to that last year. I think he's probably the best of a bad bunch. That's what I felt at times. But it was nothing special. But I will say, especially last week, and it's only pre-season, so take it with a pinch of salt, he looks hungry and up for it, though. And I think he has got a bit between his teeth to, I guess, maybe even also prove a point and say, you didn't start me. He obviously scored the goal last season as well, last game of the season at Swansea as well. I think he has a bit more of an all-rounded game to him. If you compare it to when he first signed, we weren't sure what we were going to get. I kind of thought initially, is he going to be that kind of, European no nonsense, loves a tackle? He wasn't that initially, but I've seen it creep into his game whilst he's been here, and he's transitioning, and he's had a year to adjust to the English game. I do think he is going to kick on this year, really, and leaps and bounds. I think, and I'm hoping he does.
He ended well as well. Down at Swansea, got his goal. He was full of praise for that. You can see that was a big weight lifted. Once you get that first one, it's a shame it come the end of the season. But the fact that Harris made such a point. When does a manager come out and say they've had to take a player aside to just tell them how good they are and tell the fans that they've had to do that and explain the situation, because he knows the quality that Casper's got. So he's going to be the main stake in centre mid, and the others will remain to be seen.
Alex S is Fleming out tomorrow. Yes. He's a doubt even for Hull next week, so he's definitely due to miss the next two, and was rumoured to be a doubt this time last week for Hull. So
international is the best bet I've heard.
Yeah, or maybe Coventry game. Is it Coventry on the 31st? Maybe back
Possibly,
to that.
Sheffield Wednesday.
That's it. I keep saying Coventry game for some reason, but yeah. So he's out till at least probably after Hull, but we'll see. Yeah, Mickey, who you having in the midfield too, mate?
You see, I think it's got to be Saville really and Denor, to be fair. But I do like that again. Denor is, I don't know. I agree with you. Last season, what was special about him? Was he really, really special, or was the hype around him wasn't there? But I agree. I think it's going to be them. I don't think Massey's going to get a chance on the first game. I think maybe a few games in he might, but we could be
Portsmouth probably.
We could be absolutely we could be shot. But no, I'll go Denor and Saville.
So should we go for the right-hand side now? Who plays on the right?
Go on then.
I want George Honeyman to play on the right tomorrow, and I'm sure there'll be people hating that comment. Untold.
Who are you playing on the right then?
Can I just say I want George Honeyman on the right as well?
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
I want Roman SA to succeed so much. Like, he's our poster star boy. We Jay constantly compares him to Saka. He's our own Saka, and I agree. I subscribe to it. On the right hand side for me though, I think he's still really rough around the edges, and the only way he's going to learn is by playing games. And I get that. I just think tomorrow, I'd want Honeyman's energy on that right hand side of the pitch. I think he's the stopgap. I agree. He's probably likely to play maybe behind Bradshaw tomorrow, which is even there. You go. That highlights the lack of options we've got at the moment.
This comment, I'm just about to put a comment up. This is the only reason I want George Honeyman. Where's he gone? To play on the right hand side is this one.
Only Honeyman
because
on the right.
I have Romain SA in the 10 tomorrow, not out wide.
When the team came out last Saturday before the game, I thought it would be SA in the 10. But I don't know. I just think tomorrow. I want. I just don't know if it's. I think he's going to get his opportunity, but I'm not. I'd like to see SA come off the bench and make an impact. That's where I'd phrase that one tomorrow. And the same with Marco, if I'm honest. I've realised I put Honeyman right mid, and I've just said I want Marco to make an impact as well. And that means I'm going to have Duncan Watmore left mid in a minute, I think. But I've got to have one of the youngsters in. Am I going to go back on my choice? No, I love George Honeyman. I'm the George Honeyman fan club as well. I love George Honeyman. I'd have George Honeyman next to anywhere on the pitch. Honestly, I really would. I think Honeyman is an unbelievable footballer, and we don't put enough respect on his name. I'll be honest. And
I think Honeyman is a really, really good player to have, and I think he can offer a lot more. The only reason I'm starting him on the right is because if Fleming was fit, I'd have SA on the right. If the fact that Fleming's not fit, I would put SA in the 10 and give him an opportunity really to try and impact the game from a central position. I don't think we fully know what Romain SA's best position is. For me, I think he's better more central than out wide, personally.
Yeah.
So on that basis, the fact that we don't really have any other wingers, it's a toss-up on the right between Duncan Watmore and George Honeyman. Like, it's not really the most inspiring choices, is it? So George Honeyman.
Back to Bay's comment about I do want SA to succeed a lot. I thought he was really poor last Saturday. And I know it's only pre-season. I think SA's been poor the whole of pre-season, to be honest. He's played every game, had the opportunities to shine. It's only pre-season. I just thought he was really poor. He got the ball didn't really travel with it, didn't take any players on. And I know it's only pre-season, so maybe he should play tomorrow and we'll judge him on tomorrow's performance. But I thought SA was really, really poor last Saturday. I wanted to succeed desperately.
Didn't you choose him for player of the season?
No, I don't think I've used SA for anything. I might have been maybe the assist I might have shared, but
Or
I
young player.
I went young player. I think Alfie Massey or someone else. I can't remember who I put, but I don't think I chose SA. For me, though, I thought SA's been really underwhelming in pre-season, but we've got to back them to play, and I know that. But
I honestly, and I know Jay's sitting there. Literally, you can see him getting like aging with every word that comes out of our mouths even more. But we don't have any wingers apart from Amaku, and Amaku's going out on the left for me. You know, he would be on the left. SA central, Honeyman on the right, because he's the best option available that we have can play wide right.
Can I just say that Scott Shitty, whatever his name is it Shitty or whatever he is, yeah, that fella, yeah, right? He's so far behind watching because he's watching live.
Oh, Mickey's gone.
Oh, Mickey's gone. I don't know where Mickey's gone, but Mickey will be back in a minute.
He's gone.
We'll move on to the left then. I will play Marco on the left. I've made my mind up.
We're going back.
Oh, wait, Jay. Hold on. Jay needs to do his right.
Oh, Jay, who do you want on the right, Jay?
Right, gentlemen.
Here we go.
I'm going with SA, and there's a couple. When we reveal one of our other positions in a minute, I'll allude to why. But I thought SA at Gillingham was really good. I thought he got forward. He made some passes in behind that other players didn't see or didn't latch on to. I think for his own development and for how we're looking to move this season, if he doesn't start, it will throw all that into doubt. I think he's our prized young asset. And I think he will start on that right-hand side tomorrow. Because I actually think we're going to go with a 4-2-3-1. I don't think we're going to go a 4-4-2. So I'll reveal them picks when we come to them. But SA is going to play on the right for me. That's what I want, and that's what I think.
I also don't like our balance with SA and Amaku both playing. If you both have SA and Amaku on either side, I don't know if that's what you're going for, Jay. You've got no width. So I know Honeyman's not a winger, and Bailey, I respect your comments and I appreciate where you're coming from. You do need someone that's naturally that side-footed, in my opinion. So for me, if I've got a Marco on the left and an SA on the right, there's no width. And then you rely on Brian and Leonard to get forward. Then you've got exposed aging centre-half Hutchinson next to Cooper, who can't get out of his 18-yard line box. For me, I would have Honeyman on the right and a Marco on the left for that reason.
I agree to that sentiment. Definitely, I agree to that. But the way I look at it is, I've referenced SA as being a poor man's Saka. I think he's that right hand side, that left foot. He's got that brilliance where he can find that door. He can chip in with a goal, and then Emarcu's more like the Martinelli. I'm using an Arsenal reference here because they're two different players. Emarcu's got that raw pace that will get down there like a Martinelli attack players. And SA's different. And now when you play against right and left backs, one might struggle against the other and you can switch them about. So you have differences on the wings. And we've got to use it as more of an attack. We haven't got any wingers that are any better than SA and Amaku at crossing the ball, at their delivery or anything like that. So I think with what we've got, that's the route we need to go down. And I think SA is going to be that guy that unlocks things, because with Honeyman out there, he will limit us attacking, in my opinion. I have got a position that I might fill in with that we'll come to. I'm not going to reveal it yet, but I just feel that SA is so driven to get forward and get in behind and link well. And I think he starts for that reason on the right.
I won't go too much back and forth with this, Bailey, in the comments, but I'd argue if I had to do a tier list of our crosses of the ball, best crosses, I'd have Joe Bryan, then George Honeyman in this squad.
Bailey's going to be coming for you.
I would. I think Honeyman's on set piece. He's better cross of the ball than Saville. I don't know why Saville's on all these set pieces a lot of the time. I think Honeyman is actually a decent cross of the ball, but I take what he's saying. I get where he's coming from, but I would say SAP on the right, yeah? What about the left then? Let's go to you again, Mickey, on the left. I think obviously we've already commented. Marco. Yeah, I'd have a Marco on the left as well. Stephen, who you have on the left? Marco?
Yeah, Marco. Yeah, 100%.
And then
Full
Jay?
house. Full house.
Okay, so I think everyone's agreeing in the comments as well. So on the right, we've got SA, and on the left, Marco. I've gone with George Honeyman on the right. Fine. And
I've gone with Honeyman on the right as well.
We have, sorry, yeah. And then I think we're going to play 4-4-2. And on my
Derby
team,
have scored. Blackburn, sorry to interrupt you, Omar. It's Blackburn 1, Derby County 1.
here we go.
3 fall in Blackburn.
I'd have Bradshaw and Langstaff up front tomorrow on the back of playing George Ham on the right to whip them balls in the box. There you go. I actually want to go 2 strikers tomorrow because Fleming's not around. He's injured. I would probably go Fleming. And if Langstaff, I mean, based on tomorrow, if I was guessing, I'd probably say Fleming and Bradshaw. But there you go. That's where we're at. But I want Bradshaw and Langstaff tomorrow up front. I really do. 2 strikers. Okay. And go for it.
I'll come in next then for this one because this is going to tie in nicely to what I was just saying. Is that I don't think we're going to play 2 up front tomorrow.
No, I don't either.
I think we're going to go 4-2-3-1, and I think Bradshaw will start up front tomorrow. I really do. It's not what I want to see, but I think that's what's going to happen. And I think George Honeyman's going to play in the 10 because he played there.
What do you want?
What I would want, that's what I would want. I would want Honeyman in the 10. Out of what's available right now, I would want George Honeyman in the 10.
If I got slagged off having Honeyman on the right, I swear to God, if Joe doesn't get slagged off for having Honeyman in the 10, calling it the 10 as well, I mean, I don't know what's
because he played a lot in the 10 against Southampton, and Harris actually referenced him in his press conferences about Honeyman playing in the 10 because in the type of football that we play, you need someone to hurry down defences to give ourselves some respite at the back, and Honeyman can do that from a central position better than he can from a wide position. And he has got the ability to find that pass, to link the play well, and he can get back and defend. I do think it'd be Fleming if we play a 4-2-3-1 going forward behind Langstaff. But I think tomorrow, honestly, don't be surprised and shoot me down. I think Honeyman plays in the 10 tomorrow because then that midfield 3 is full of energy, full of bite and fight. And then you leave the front 3 to attack and deal with everything else. I think it's Bradshaw with Honeyman behind. I really do.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I just think tomorrow's a different game because Southampton was made for having Honeyman in the 10. And you're right, it was brilliant last Saturday at closing down and helping out Bradshaw up front. And they both worked their socks off and did the job that you'd expect us to do against Southampton, where they have 700 passes every game. I think tomorrow, though, will be slightly different because you've got a Watford side that I don't think will be like that. I think it'll be slightly different. I think for that reason, I'd love us to go 2 up front and try and pin their back 5 back. That you told me they play a back 3 and stuff. I'd love us to just try and have that inter-movement up front as opposed to having the dimension there are quite limited on Honeyman and Bradshaw up front.
I think ultimately we all know that Harris wants to go with a 4-4-2. I just don't think he's got the target man. I don't think he'll play a Bradshaw and a Langstaff or a Nisbet and a Langstaff because it's too similar. Harris has always liked a Morrison, a Gregory, a Matt Smith, and a Bradshaw. You know, he's like that variation of big and small. So I don't think he'll play 2 similar strikers. He loses that man in midfield, especially with the 3 at the back that they'll play. They'll be able to push with a 5 and they'll be able to defend as a 5. So it does alter things a little bit, which is why I think you need to have an extra man in that midfield. And I just think Honeyman's the best at doing that in this with the current crop of players that we got. But ultimately, I think it'd be Fleming or another striker because we need. Where does Fleming fit in this side if we play a 4-4-2? You know, so it's I'm going with Honeyman in the 10 purely off Harris's references. Have I been muted?
No, I was laughing.
No.
I thought he was laughing because Mickey's pointing. I'm like, I've been muted. No, I think.
I've just come back.
I'd love to have this debate in person, mate.
Yeah, long story short, I think it's Bradshaw and Honeyman. It's not what I want overall, but that's what I think he's going to go with.
Do you know when I say Langstaff and Bradshaw up front, I'm going to go back to a dark time for Millwall, and people might remember these run of games. Do you remember when Harris came in after Holloway and we had 7 games left of the season and you had Gregory and O'Brien up front, right? Yeah. And it was 2 strikers, right? And I don't know if everyone remembers this period in the chat, but O'Brien scored a couple. He scored 1 at Brentford. Gregory, I think, also scored that game.
That day at Brentford, those 2 were awesome.
And that's exactly what I'd hope Bradshaw and Langstaff would be tomorrow, where they're both grafting. Because
that's a very good point.
What we know of Langstaff is apparently he's a hard-working and he's also got a finish on him. I'd love to see them 2 play up front, hassle and hurry the players. Honeyman, I suppose, in that sense, could do that maybe. But if what we might see tomorrow. But I'd like to see 2 strikers just grafting up front, really working their bollocks off and harassing the defence and going after Watford tomorrow. And then you've got two strikers that can both hopefully score a goal when the opportunity comes to them as well. If you had Honeyman in front of goal or Langstaff, I'd rather Langstaff 100%. So that's my logic. When I'm saying this 4-4-2 side of, Honeyman on the right, Mark on the left, and Bradshaw and also Langstaff, it's you're harassing them, you're at home, you're Millwall. We've had, our first home game of the season, first league game of the season, go after this side and have two strikers and have a go. That's my logic behind this team that I'm picking.
Yeah, fair point as well. Very, very fair point.
Got to have two strikers.
Yeah. I would.
Blackburn are 2-1 up, by the way.
I would love to see two strikers. I really will. I don't think he will, which is why I would have SA in the 10 and Langstaff as the number 9. However, if we do go with two strikers, I would actually like to see Nisbet and Langstaff be the two.
So all right. So on that then, Stephen, where does let's address the elephant in the room then, right? He's obviously going to be here this season. No, not Nisbet. I'm not talking about.
No, I was
where
going to
does
say,
Zian
got a bit
Fleming,
of timber, but he don't look like an elephant.
Yeah. So where does Zian Fleming fit in what we think is going to be a 4-4-2 if Harris does bring in another striker? Because that's something that has to be addressed, because he's not going to come in. He's not going to sit on the bench.
I genuinely cannot answer that question because I don't know what Harris is going to do with Fleming this year. Initially, I thought we were going to go with it would be Fleming and Langstaff as kind of a 2, or Fleming might drop a little bit deeper, and then your plan B, if you will, would be that we'd have a target man in, and then that's how you change it. If it's not working, you go down that route. That still might be the case, but that's why I don't think we're going to go out and out with two strikers, because I think you've got, I don't want to call him a Zian Fleming problem because he has been statistically.
I think it is a problem.
But it is a little bit of a problem. But statistically, he's been our best player over the last 2 seasons.
Averages
in terms of numbers.
Goals a game. 10 goals a season.
So you've got to play him.
In answer to the question, Jay, if we signed another striker, I think Kevin Nisbet goes out the door. It's a revolving door there.
I'll totally agree with you.
That's what I think. Where Fleming fits in, I think he makes up that quartet up front. Whether that has Nisbet involved or not, I don't know. But I think if we sign another forward, that's a target man, something different, a Route 1 option. I think then that paves the way for Nisbet to go out.
There is a route for a striker in there.
Do you think then if we signed if you think we signed a target man, do you think he would be used as the plan B and come on late, and it would be Fleming as the supporting cast for Langstaff?
I think
because you can't bench Fleming, you can't bench him. You sell him.
You can't.
If you're going to bench him, sell him.
And in a Harris side, you want Fleming high up the pitch and offering a different option next to a forward who can score the goals. That's what I think.
He's also great defensively as well. He proved that he led the line really well in that 10 in what Harris demanded, especially in the Southampton game. He was class. He ran his socks off. He gets stuck in. So
would he fit like a central mid just in front between them and two strikers?
I've actually campaigned a few times on the podcast to play Fleming as a centre mid.
But then you'll have him sitting. Then you'll have him in instances where he's on his own 18-yard line. That's the opposite place to where you want to be.
Yeah, I know, and I agree with and that's the only thing that faults that. But I think that if we do sign another striker, it's not going to be a big name. It's going to be just a
lump. It's going to be a lump.
It's going to make the metrics for a plan B. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah,
which means Fleming will have to start. I think the 2 up front is because you can alter it in game. You can go 4-2-3-1 and you go 4-4-2 with Fleming playing. I don't think you could do that with others playing. So I think Fleming's the starter with Langstaff, and the target man forces Nisbet out, as Omar what he said.
Realistically, a front 4, however you want to work it, a front 4 of SA, Fleming, Amarco, and Langstaff that's what I want. To me sounds pretty good, and I think that's a real good forward line. Okay, they might not be able to play every single game and start every single game and be effective every game, but that front 4 is good enough to score enough goals to keep us in this division. And yes, Sammy Smodics has scored for Blackburn to make it
3-1. And I fucking stopped him out because he was benched. I stopped him out.
So we've pretty much done your whole team. So now it's the easy bit. What's your scores?
Easy. This is the easy part. Millwall 2, Watford 0, And because of the whole conversation tonight, George Honeyman gets both of them. But no, in a more serious note, I think we win 2-0 tomorrow. I think we get one from a set piece. Juicy Jake, first of 8 this season. And
There's that glimmer in your eye, Omar. I can see it already, mate.
I really
That's just the betting app. That's just the betting app on his phone.
I really
open
can't see another
the
world apart from.
Get your scores in the comments as well. Come on in.
I think tomorrow's made for us to win 2-0. I think Cooper gets one and then Marco gets the other. There you go. 2-0 Millwall. And listen, I get the animosity, the negativity around the lack of transfers, but fuck it. We're in this position now. The first game of the season is here. We're back in this lot. We're going to be there no matter what. Come rain or shine, as the saying goes. And you know what? Just go in tomorrow with positivity that we're going to get the job done, and it's going to be a Millwall performance where we're all happy. We're all going to go to the pub afterwards, have a few beers to celebrate a 2-0 win. I'm really positive and hoping we do the job tomorrow. I really am.
Oh, fucking.
There you go, Bailey. Yeah.
I'm going.
I've listened.
For the
I'm
benefit
going
of
3-0.
For the benefit of anyone listening on the podcast, Bailey's comment there is 4-0. Honeyman hat-trick and assist from his great crosses to Bradshaw. He then gets his deserved move to Man City.
Well, these crosses are going to be 3 foot off the ground then if he's crossing them into Bradshaw.
I'm going 3. Actually, no, I'm going to go 4-0. Langstaff to score 3. And
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, hang on. You cut out then, Mickey. Before we do that, you cut out and we moved on. So we didn't get your striker and your second striker or number 10.
I'm going 2. I'm going to go with Langstaff, and I don't think Nesbitt's going to get a play. I would probably look at Watmore, to be fair.
Langstaff and Watmore, yeah.
Do you not subscribe to what I'm coming from with like it's on paper, Watford would have been the team you'd want tomorrow. Neil Harris is our manager. It's going to be a full house. I don't know how close we are to sell out, but big crowd, emotional time. And I get it. Last season we didn't do it against Bristol City, but that was when we had that guy that's not going to be named as manager. We've got a Millwall man in the dugout that's going to get the crowd up for it, the players up for it. It's just made for us to have 7 corners in the first half, knock on the door constantly, get a goal before half time, and then win the second half and then win 2-0. There you go. I'm telling you now, that's it. And I know I said the Marcus play on the left, but we all know he's going to come off the bench. He's going to score in the 90th minute when the other team's chasing us down. The glimmer is definitely in my eye, Steve, before you say anything. And we're going to win 2-0. It's happening. I'm telling you.
I'm going to go with 2-1 to Millwall. I'm going to go Jake Cooper to score the first, obviously, for Omar. Go 1-0 up, then they'll equalise, and I'm going to go with Macaulay Langstaff to score in his debut, and everyone will be absolutely buzzing. 2-1, Coops and Langstaff.
Yeah, 4-0, Langstaff 3, and SA 1.
What are you saying, Jay?
I'm going 2-0. 2-0 Millwall. I think it'll be quite comfortable as well. To be honest, I think SA and Bradshaw will score tomorrow. Bradshaw loves a goal against Watford, especially at home. So I'm going to go with Bradshaw and SA.
If you ask me for the prediction league, then I'm going to go 2-0. But it's in my heart for the show, for controversial purposes, it's going to be Langstaff scores 3 and SA scores 1. So yeah, that's the way I'm going. So Paul has gone 2-0, Chris 1-0. Alex 1-0, Andrew Cahill. Any relation to the Cahill?
Not even Marku. A lot of people are saying Marku.
Exactly same as Omar been saying it all week.
There you go. Come on, believe. We still believe.
No, don't.
Just a minute ago, Omar, just a minute ago when you were talking, he said you're talking shit. So yeah,
I know. That's all right. Listen, I put myself
Roberts to score.
I welcome anyone to come and talk to us back, and I love it.
Roberts to score the other Mickey. Do you know what, Bailey? I nearly said Roberts just as a piss take, but I didn't. 2-0 Langstaff and a Marku for B-Line. Richard Lacey 4-0. Langstaff last 15-minute hat trick. Whole day will be crap. Queues. Tickets, queues for £6 bag drop, rubbish, food, shit weather, Robocops everywhere because of all the right. I don't think they will be, to be fair. I think they'll be fucking little as possible there. I think Watford are banging trouble this year. We'll win tomorrow, get ahead of ourselves before getting battered by Bristol City.
We will be
there.
Yes, mate, we will be there. And Portsmouth, I'm going, so we will be
Danny
there.
Mack to come off the bench and smash Tom Ince, leading to his dad. We won't do that. First game of the season, anything can happen. Absolutely well caught up. Cooper to win a header in the opposition box from a set piece without giving away a foul. Big scoreline. Melvin, which isn't Melvin, it's Dan. It's Darren. 1-0 in the 94th minutes after 6 injuries, and Mickey comes on to score. Fuck that. 2-0 Bradders. And I meant Jay was talking shit about Fleming in centre mid. It was much better when we were blaming it on Thingy. So yeah. So we got lookalikes. Ricky Grover, the actor, is Fat Dan. How the fuck did we get onto lookalikers?
I don't know. That's come out of left field. That's almost as barbaric as my apparent Fleming in centre midfield.
He must be about where Chris Brown said about Claire Balding. No, that was at the beginning. I don't know where he is. So yeah,
what a brilliant shout, by the way, Ricky. I like that shout.
Yeah, that's how I laughed. That was good.
Right then, gents. Hour and 40 minutes when thought it was going to be thinking, Scott G, look. Yeah, sorry, been drinking. No excuse, it's fine, mate. That's when we started Friday Night Live 4 years ago. Was pretty much where everyone used to tell us what they used to drink, and so far we have moved forward. So
it's match today, by the way. There you go.
Yeah. Right, Omar. I'm going to finish on something because it's a special date, and I'll explain why in a minute. So I will take your notes and thingies now because I think probably the way I will end will be ended with that rather than a intro music or anything as an end. So that will end there, and you'll see what I mean in a bit. So, Omar, anything?
Closing statement. The Blue Rain has a 9 a.m. license tomorrow. Enjoy it. Let's go. 2-0 Millwall, and we're going to go home happy. Let's go.
Stephen?
Just thanks to the listeners, whether you're new, been here for a while. We're back for the season. We love doing this. We love talking about the club, whether it's good, bad, the ugly. As Omar says, we will be there. We'll be trekking to all kinds of places this year. So stick with us. We've got plenty coming this year. And 2-1, Juicy Jake and Macaulay Langstaff.
Bailey's told us it's 4-1 now. So I don't know who to, but it is 4-1. No, right. Jay?
Yeah, just a couple of things. The season's been back. It's been hard, the off-season, with us trying to bring you as much content as possible, with sometimes it being quieter and repetitive. But look, we're back in full swing now. Stay with us. It's going to be a great season, as Omar will never let it be said otherwise. And we're going to win tomorrow. The sun's going to be out. Let's get down there. Come and see us if you're down there. Second thing I just want to add, as I said at the beginning, for some of you that weren't there, me and our That Millwall podcast Normal correspondent, Mr. Ben Green, have started a fantasy podcast for the EFL. It's at Fantasy EFL Show on YouTube and on Twitter. So if you're enjoying the fantasy or you want to play, come over, follow us on the socials. We have podcasts going out, pre-recorded and stuff. So yeah, if you're up for that, come over and give that a watch as well. Appreciate it.
No, that's it. And so Derby losing 4-1.
They are.
So those of you watching, just head over to the Second Tier podcast on Twitter and just copy them and then just laugh, because both of them are Derby fans, and as they cunt us off so much, just fucking laugh at them. Just anything to take the piss. So yeah, that is it. Right. Gents, I don't know how much you know, how much you don't know. We have a bench at Millwall for Lee O'Callaghan. It was sorted out by a couple of upstanding fellas who basically done a collection and whatnot and raised money for the bench. And then there was a guy from Hoff called T who managed to get it recognised as a war memorial. 20 years ago today, the 9th of August, Leo Callahan, unfortunately, was killed by insurgents in Basra in Iraq, aged 20 years old. And obviously, you know that I have quite a bit of involvement in the Remembrance Day stuff, and we do a special service on his bench after the game every year. And I just thought that it's 20 years, and I just thought that it would be appropriate to put up his picture and just play the last post and say thank you very much for watching. We're back tomorrow with a space, and we're back on Sunday with a live. And rest in peace, Lee, and God bless.
Oh.